Don't take flight, nighty night. Know the champions in rooms dancing with no one seen, or only one will, sun still.
TK with fire. This Trey Tail back once again. Trey Tail Torah Nights. Got to my right, my beautiful rib.
Shalom.
Shalom, people. Today we'll be going into the resurrection and significance of the third day. But first, let's go into the bowl of herpes-infected rabbit urine, the New Testament. My rib will be reading the scriptures for me today, starting at Luke chapter 24, verse 3 to 7. Read! Nah, I'm playing. Go ahead, read 24, verse 3 to 7.
But when they went in, they did not find the body. While they were perplexed about this, suddenly 2 men in dazzling clothes stood beside them. The women were terrified and bowed their faces to the ground. But the men said to them, "Why do you not look for the living among the dead? He is not here, but he has risen. Remember how he had told you, while he was in Galilee, that the Son of Man must be handed over to the sinners, and crucified, and on the third day risen again."
Okay, thank you. So is that prophecy being fulfilled? Trey Tail! Jesus sacrificed himself, then he resurrected himself so he can sit next to himself before he comes back again. Now it says something about being resurrected on the third day. Alright? Let's see what Yahweh says. Let's take from Genesis chapter 22, verse 1 to 4. I'll turn that with you. Give me 1 minute. Genesis chapter 22, verse 1 to 4. Alright.
After these things, God tested Abraham. He said to him, "Abraham." And he said, "Here I am." He said, "Take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of," what is it? Moriah?
Moriah.
Yeah. "And offer them there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains that I shall show you." So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and said to his son Isaac he would cut the wood of the burnt offering, and set out and went to the place in the distance that God had shown him. On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place far away.
Alright, now go down to verse 17 and 18.
What was that?
17. The same chapter. The same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 17, 18. Yeah.
"I will indeed bless you, and I will make your offspring numerous as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand that it is on the seashore. And your offspring shall possess the gate of your enemies. And by your offspring shall the nations of the earth gain blessings for themselves, because you have obeyed my voice."
So that was a blessing by Yahweh on the third day to Abraham for going to sacrifice his son. He couldn't see the dead land from a distance until the third day, to where he was going to sacrifice his son. So it's significant about that third day. Let's go to Exodus chapter 19, verse 10 to 7. I'm sorry, 10 to 17. 19 verse 10 to 17. Go ahead and read it.
The Lord said to Moses, "Go to the people and constrain them today to tomorrow. Have them wash their clothes and prepare the third day, because on the third day the Lord will come and give upon Mount
Sinai.
Yeah, Sinai, sorry, it's all split up. In the sight of all the people. You shall set the limits of the people all around, saying, Be careful not to go up upon the mountains, or to touch the edge of it. Any who touch the mountain shall be put to death. No hand shall touch them, but they shall be stoned or shot with arrows. Whether animal or human being, they shall not live. When the trumpet sounds a long blast, they will go up into the mountain. So Moses went up into the mountain, went down from the mountain to the people. The people then washed their clothes, and he said to go to the people, Prepare for the third day, do not go near a woman. On the, what was it, 2:17?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On the morning of the third day there was a thunder and lightning, as well as a thick cloud storm on the mountain, and a blast of the trumpet so loud that all the people who were in the camp trembled. Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God. Then they took their stand at the foot of the mountain.
Thank you. So there you go. So they weren't fully clean until the third day. They had to wash their clothes and be pure to be prepared for Yahweh's spirit coming down the Mount Sinai. Right? So it had to be the third day, not Christ coming down. Right? Yahweh. Now, and also the third day also can be significant for blessings. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 20. 2 Kings chapter 20. Verse 1 to 6. Yeah. Go ahead.
In those days Hezekiah became sick and was at the point of death. The prophet Isaiah, son of Amoz, came to him and said to him, Thus says the Lord, set your house in order, for you shall die. You shall not recover. Then Hezekiah turned his head, his face to the wall, and prayed to the Lord. Remember how, O Lord, I implore you, I have walked before you in your faithfulness with a whole heart, and have done what is good in your sight. Hezekiah wept bitterly. Before Isaiah had gone out of the middle court, the word of the Lord came to him. Turn back, and said to Hezekiah, Prince of my people, thus says the Lord, the God of your ancestor David, I have heard your prayer, I have seen your tears, indeed I will heal you. On the third day you shall go up into the house of the Lord. Till 6, yeah?
Yep.
I will add 15 years to your life. I will deliver you and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria. I will defend this city with my own sake and for the servant David's sake.
Exactly. So the blessing, this is the third day again. It was added, 15 years was added to the king's life. Right? Where is it at? So what verse was that? Oh, I'm going to heal you. So if you go down to verse 5, Yahweh tells him, I heard your prayer, I've seen your tears, I'm going to heal you on the third day. You should go to the house of Yahweh, and he will add 15 years on your life. Now it's also used for judgment as well, the significance of the third day. If you go to Daniel chapter 1, verse 1 to 2. Daniel chapter 1. Got it. Go ahead. You go ahead.
In the third year, the king of the reign, I can't say this word. What is it?
Jehoiakim.
Jehoiakim of Judah, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon and Jerusalem, and beside it the lord of the king Jehoiakim of Judah fall into his power, as well as some of the vessels of the house of God. These are brought to the land of Shinar, and place the vessels in the treasury of his gods.
Okay. So, it shows you right there, King Nebuchadnezzar came in. Yahweh used Nebuchadnezzar to basically take down Israel. There was judgment, and it was the third day, right? Verse 1 and 2. Yeah, in the third year. I'm sorry, in the third year of the reign. Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar took down Israel, right? So used for judgment. The third day is specific for judgments, visions, and blessings. We just went through over all three. Now let's go a little deeper into the resurrection on the third day. Let's go to Daniel chapter 12. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 to 4. Alright, go ahead and read it.
At the time Michael the great prince, the protector of the young, shall arise. There shall be a time of anguish such as never occurred since the nations first came into exiles. But at the time your people shall be delivered, everyone who is found written in the book. Many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some in everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the sky, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, keep the words of the secret, and the book sealed until the time of the end. Many shall be running back and forth, and evil shall increase.
Okay, now, when and how will this happen? That's the next question. When and how? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 25. Jeremiah 25, verse 31 to 33. Go ahead.
Thou sounds to the ends of the earth, for the Lord has an incentive against the nations. He is entering into judgment with all flesh, and the guilty will be put to the sword. Thus says the Lord of hosts, see, the disaster is spreading from nation to nation, and a great tempest is stirring from the farthest parts of the earth. Those who slay the Lord on the day shall extend from one earth to the other. They shall not be lament,
Yeah.
or gathered, or buried. They shall become dung on the surface of the ground. Is it?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So they'll be dung on the surface of the ground and be taken from their graves, the ones slain. They shall not be mourned and gathered, and buried. They shall become dung upon the face of the earth. So you know it's got to be spiritual as well, because you can't be dead. You know what I mean? Take snatch out of your grave. It's what it sounds like as well, right? So he's going across nation to nation, taking down nations and peoples, right? And it ties right in with Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 1 to 14. Ezekiel 37, I'll read that. Verse 1 to 14. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. The hand of Yahweh came upon me. He took me out by the Spirit of the Lord and set me down in the valley. It was full of bones. He led me all around them, and there were very many of them spread over the valley, and they were dry. He said to me, O mortal, can these bones live again? I replied, O Yahweh, only you know. And he said to me, prophesy over these bones, and say to them, O dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh to these bones, I will cause breath to enter you, and you shall live again. I will lay sinews upon you, and cover you with flesh, and form skin over you. I will put breath into you, and you shall live again, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. I prophesied as I have been commanded. And while I was prophesying, suddenly there was a sound of rattling, and bones came together, bone to matching bone. I looked, and there were sinews on them, and flesh had grown, and skin had formed over them, but there was no breath in them. Then he said to me, prophesy to the breath, prophesy, O mortal, say to the breath, thus says Yahweh, come, O breath, from the four winds, and breathe into these slain, that they may live again. I prophesied as he commanded me. The breath entered them, and they came to life, and stood up on their feet, a vast multitude. He said to me, O mortal, these bones are the whole house of Israel. They say our bones are dried up, our hope is gone, we are doomed. Prophesy therefore, and say to them, thus says Yahweh, I am going to open your graves, and lift you up out of your graves, O my people, and bring you to the land of Israel. You shall know, O my people, that I am the Lord, when I have opened your graves and lifted you out of your graves. See, lifting them out of their graves sounds like it ties in Jeremiah we just read. I will put my breath into you, and you shall live again, and I will set you upon your own soil. Then you shall know that I am Yahweh, have spoken and have acted, declares Yahweh. So, we got that. It ties in with Jeremiah, with putting out the graves and being done on the earth. Yahweh is resurrecting you by putting the breath into you and matching bone to bone. Now let's get a little deeper. Let's go into when it said land, right? I'm going to bring you to the land of Israel, right? What is that land? Is it the actual piece of grass you're walking on? Well, let's find out. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 17 to 20. To get an understanding of this land. Go ahead.
Therefore say, thus says the Lord God, I will gather you from your peoples and assemble you out of your countries where you have been scattered. And I will give you the land of Israel. When they come there, they will remove it, all of its despicable things, and all of its abominations.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I will give them one heart and put a new spirit within them. I will remove the heart of the stone of the flesh and give them a heart of flesh, so that they may follow my statutes and keep my ordinances,
Yes, right.
and obey them. Then they shall be my people, and I will be their God.
So to be his people, we get to obey his commandments, of course, faithfully, right? Put away the idols, abominations like Jesus and YAHAWAH'S, whatever, the idols of the land. Now, also he says it again, I will give you the land of Israel. That was a question I had before. Is that a piece of land we're walking on, or is it something else? Let's find out. Let's go to Isaiah 44 to find out what this land is. Isaiah chapter 44, verse 2 and 3. Hold on. Isaiah 44, 2 and 3. Alright, go ahead.
Thus says the Lord who made you, who formed you in the womb, and will help you. Do not fear, O Jacob, my servant, whom I have chosen. Is it 2 and 3? Yep.
Yeah.
For I will pour water on the thirsty land and the streams of the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon your descendants and my blessings on your offspring.
There you go. So you are the land, right? The kingdom is in you. He will pour streams on you. Like willows by water courses, you will sprout like grass. You're the land that he waters, right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 12, verse 1 to 3. Alright, go ahead.
You will say in the day, I will give thanks to you, O Lord, for thou were very angry with me. Your anger turned away, and you comfort me. Surely, Yahweh is my salvation. I will trust, and I will not be afraid. For the Lord God is my strength and my might. He has become my salvation. With joy you will draw water from the wells of salvation, and you will say in the day of the...
That's fine. Yeah. Stop there.
Great.
Great. So what is this well of salvation you will draw from? Right? What is this well of salvation? All right, let's find out. Let's go to Ezekiel 36. All right, Ezekiel 36, verse 25 to 27. What is this well? There you go.
I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean from all your uncleanness, and from you your idols I will cleanse you. A new heart I will give you, and a new spirit I will put within you, and I will remove your body from the heart of your stone, and give you the heart of flesh. I will put my spirit within you, and make you follow my statutes, and be careful to observe my ordinances.
So, like I said, the question before is, what is the well of salvation? What's the last sentence you said again? What's the will of salvation? Go ahead and read the last sentence.
I will put my spirit within you and make you follow my statutes. Be careful to observe my ordinances.
There it is. I will cause you to follow my laws and to faithfully observe my rules. Right? So that's the will of salvation. Right? The streams that he will pour on you, which is the Torah, his laws, statutes, commandments. Right? Now, even though most of Israel has forgotten their position, or our position, right, and responsibility, Yahweh hasn't forgotten you, right? There is a period of grace. But most of our people have forgotten that he's the only God. Let's go to Isaiah 44, verse 21. 44, yeah. Verse 21. Go ahead.
Yep. Remember these things, O Jacob and Israel, for you are my servant. I formed you. You are my servant, O Israel. You will not be forgotten by me.
Yeah, there you go. So he fashioned you, you will not be forgotten. Right? He's speaking only to his elect who only worship him in truth, sincerity of spirit. Right? Who observe his laws. That's who he's speaking to. He hasn't forgotten. The rest of y'all are missile magnet pork chops. Alright. Christ demons. Let's go to Psalms 34, verse 8. Right? I'm sorry, Psalms 34, verse 7 and 8, and this will be the last scripture.
I like Psalms. 7 and 8.
34, verse 7 and 8. Yeah. Go ahead.
The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers him.
No, sorry, 7. Start at 7. I think it's one
That
above
is
that.
7.
I'm sorry, I started 6. Different
Oh,
version.
okay. This poor soul cried, and he was heard by the Lord, and was saved from every trouble. The angel of the Lord encamps around him who fear him and delivers them. Oh,
Yeah.
taste and see.
That's
The
it.
Lord is good.
Oh, so he's going to 8. Go ahead. Finish it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Happy are those who take refuge in him.
There you go. So, all who obey his laws, commandments, he has an angel encamped around them. That's why I just want to bring that out there. Okay, so that wraps that up. You know now that the third day, significance of the third day, the streams of salvation, how he's going to resurrect the dry bones, which is already manifesting now. Well, I'm teaching you right now. Dry bones, that prophecy is already being fulfilled right before you. Shalom TK, Torah Nights. Blades up. You got a thing to say? Take us out.
Have a good day.
Yahawah only. Go ahead. Yahawah.
God.
Yahawah God. Shalom.
Chop.